All right, welcome back. This is the last video 4. What are the solutions to the quadratic equation? So I'll remind you there's 5 ways, right? You can factor, graph, nobody wants to do that one. Right? Graphing, unless they're whole numbers, it's very difficult. So factor, graph, complete the square root, and then use the quadratic formula. Now, the thing about the square root method, right, the square root method is only if b is missing or if you have vertex form. Okay, so the square root method is fast, but only if you have one of those two. Complete the square, I probably would avoid doing. It works every time, but I would probably skip these two and just use one of those 3, right? Either factor, square root, or quadratic formula. Now, the one that works every time is completing the square and the quadratic formula, but like I said, completing the square can be kind of long, so the quadratic formula works every time. So if you're stuck, just go to method 5 every single time. But you do need to know how to factor for math 3 for sure. So please make sure that your factoring skills are sharp. I always try factoring first. So I'm going to see if this one factors. So I would remember we want something that multiplies to a times c, but adds to b. So a is 1. So we want something that multiplies to 1 times -8, which is -8, but adds to b, and b is 2. So if you can find those two numbers quickly, factoring will be a lot faster for you, particularly with no leading coefficient, meaning a was 1. And I can see the two numbers that will do that. It's 4 times -2. 4 times -2 is -8, and then 4 plus -2 is 2. So my two numbers, since a is 1, this is going to factor as y equals x plus 4, and then x minus 2. Now, if they asked you to factor, you're done here. And you can check this back. X times x gives me x squared. X times -2 is -2x. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times -2 is -8. These two combine to a positive 2x. And this is what we started with. So I know I factored it correctly. Now I'm doing a review of factoring because a lot of students are still having trouble factoring. All right. However, they want you to solve. So when we solve, we set this equal to 0, and then we solve. So I'm going to continue on, since it says to find the solutions, not the factors. So I have x plus 4 equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0, x equals -4, and x equals 2. Now, when I substitute these two values into the original equation, this should equal 0. So for example, if I substitute in -4, -4 squared plus 2 times -4 minus 8 equals 0. I'm checking it. That's 16 minus 8 minus 8 equals 0. Yes, it does. 16 minus 8 minus 8 is 0. And the same thing will happen if I plug in 2. And so my two solutions are -4 and positive 2c. So if you get stuck, you can always substitute these guys in and see which ones work. All right, what are the solutions to this one? Again, a is 1, and it does seem easily factorable, so I'm going to solve by factoring. I need something that multiplies to a times c, which is -15, and adds to b, which is -2. And those two numbers are -5 times 3, because -5 plus 3 will add to -2, and -5 times 3 will multiply to -15. And so this will factor as 0 equals x minus 5, x plus 3. And again, I'm putting a 0 here because I'm solving. So now I'm going to set each one equal to 0 and solve. X equals 5, x equals -3. So 5 and -3, that's a. Again, you could check these by simply substituting these in. All right, number 27. Same thing again. I see it's easily factorable, plus I have whole numbers here, so it must factor. So the product, I need something that multiplies to negative 16 and adds to 6. And those two numbers would be negative 16 is negative 8 times 2. Oops, positive 8 times negative 2. My bad. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16, and 8 minus 2 is 6. And so this will be 0 equals x plus 8 and x minus 2. Set each one equal to 0, x equals negative 8, and x equals 2. So negative 8 and 2, D. All right, and the last one, again, it must solve by factoring because the numbers are all whole numbers. So I'm looking for something that multiplies to positive 3 and adds to negative 4. And that would be negative 3 times negative 1. And negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. So this is equal to x minus 3 and x minus 1. And that's x equals 3 and x equals 1. So 3 and 1, B. So please make sure that you don't put these values as your solutions. You notice on each of these, that's what they had given as one of the multiple choice answers. All right, that was it. So thank goodness that was the short part. Have a great week. If you need help, I will be in Zoom every day at 9 to 9:15. And then I will extend it on Tuesday. I'll do from 9 to 9:45. All right, have a great day.